be honest, it's currently 11 p.m. here, and I really didn't want to film this video. It was a long day. I studied 4 hours for law. Um, I went to the gym, edited a lot of videos for my online course, teaching my community how they can go viral as well, and really felt exhausted. However, as you can see on my to-do list for today, I actually have it here. I crossed out most of the things, but there's still YouTube yapping here left that is not crossed out because I low-key procrastinated. I didn't have a lot of free time either, and yeah, I just didn't feel like making a video today. But then I remembered my New Year's resolution. It's a new year. Congratulations. Happy New Year, by the way. Um, and yeah, it's interesting, right? At the beginning of the year, most people are very motivated to pursue all these goals. But by February, March, they realize that, yeah, the motivation just lacks and they don't push through, only to realize that at the end of the year, basically, they didn't accomplish all the goals that they set forward with so much enthusiasm in the beginning. And I recently went to this content creator meetup in New York City, meeting 50 most successful content creators, I would say, of the East Coast. Some 15-year-olds making $10,000 a month or more. And one key element I think that differentiates successful people from unsuccessful people is that they are willing to do things that are hard, even though they feel like they don't want to do it. Because everyone has that feeling, successful people, unsuccessful people. And obviously, success depends on your definition, but yeah, even successful people have the same feelings that you have. The only difference is that they don't let themselves, getting influenced by that. So even today, when I felt like I didn't want to do it, I just thought to myself, well, would a successful person just like stop, be lazy, and not execute on the things that they promised themselves that they would do? And the answer was no. So I whipped up my phone, set up my microphone, and just hit record. And I don't have any expectations of this video going viral whatsoever. I'm not going to edit any of this. But this is a recent trend that I really like about YouTube. Just posting raw, authentic stuff with the community. I feel like YouTube is transitioning, and content in general is transitioning towards a more raw, authentic feeling, which is something I really like. I think people are getting tired of, all these editing, all of these animations, all of this fakeness, of this perfect image that everyone portrays themselves at. So that's something I really enjoy and something I wanted to try out myself. And I feel like today is the perfect day to do this, just to do just that, right? I mess up. English is my third language, but we continue. No excuses. We're gonna post. This year I want to reach 100,000 subscribers across all my platforms: Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And yeah, it's crazy. A day ago, I set all these goals, very ambitious, highly motivated. But as soon as life gets in the way, you get busy, your energy level kind of drops throughout the day and you feel more tired. Hard things like recording entire videos, scripting out these videos get even harder the longer you wait throughout the day, right? That's why I normally love to do hard things in the morning, which is why I studied 4 hours in the morning for law. And keeping all these things in mind, I think, is just very crucial in understanding how to become more successful in whatever goal, in whatever area you're trying to do. Doing hard things, although you don't feel like doing these things. Nobody likes to wake up early in the morning, right? It's always hard in the beginning. Nobody likes to work a lot of hours. And don't get me wrong, I think work-life balance to some extent is really important. I think that you should listen to your body. However, you should be able to differentiate between being lazy and deep inside if you're being lazy or if you actually overworked yourself, if you actually worked so much that you do need rest. Just like when you go to the gym, there's a time and place for rest. Rest, people would argue, is even more important because that's where recovery happens for your muscles, right? And the same goes for your body as well. But I feel like oftentimes, especially in our society nowadays, a lot of people pretend that they need rest because they it's a sort of, procrastination. They just don't want to do the hard work. So they tell themselves, oh, I need rest. I need work-life balance. But that's not actually true. If you look deep down into yourself, you will know exactly if you're working enough or if you haven't worked enough. And today, although my day was long, I did procrastinate. I was watching Netflix with my brother for 1.5 hours already, and really felt like, oh my God, I should go to bed now. Like, I'm so tired. I just do it tomorrow. That's another thing, right? I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And you end up postponing it to the next day, to the next day, to the next day. And eventually you realize a few years later that you've never actually pursued your goals. So, yeah, be honest with yourself, go deep within yourself, and understand how hard you're working. If it helps, you can even track your time of each task. So instead of, just guessing how often you work, you could like actually track your time as well and see how hard you do actually work and if you work hard at all or not. And if I was being really honest with myself, today was a busy day, but I could have worked a little harder. And I had plenty of rest. It's not that I'm a workaholic. I used to be like that. I now value rest really much as well, because I know a lot of people, creators, that overwork themselves, workaholics, just like me in the past, and they burned out. And that's something I want to prevent, because that actually sets you back a lot in your progress, right? But doing hard things when you know you should do more hard things, that is something that all of us should strive for. At least that's something I'm striving for. That's something I want to work on a lot more, being more honest with yourself in terms of what your goals are and what you want to achieve. If you want to have a chill life and just relax, watch Netflix, by all means, do that. If that makes you happy, by all means, do that, because it's your life. You're going to decide, right? But I have really high ambitions in terms of financially, in terms of retiring my parents, of these things. And there has to be some sort of sacrifice if you want to be successful. And again, success comes in various forms. For me, it's not only financial, obviously. For me, financially, it's just like kind of like a medium towards freedom, because I want to immigrate. I want to live in another country while I'm young. I want to take care of my parents, all these things. And we can only achieve these things if we actually do the hard things that no one else wants to do. A quote I really like of one of my mentors is, if you want to have an average life, do what everyone else is doing. If you want to have an, extraordinary life, you have to do extraordinary things. And that's very true. Sounds cliche, sounds cheesy maybe to you, but for me, that was always a very, very good indicator. So this year, if you're unsatisfied with how all these past years have been, if you haven't achieved your goals in the past, ask yourself why. It's probably because you didn't convince yourself to do the hard things that you know deep down you should be doing. I struggle with that a lot. And we always tell ourselves this year's going to be different, but in the end, it doesn't happen because we're not honest enough with ourselves. I was brutally honest the last year. And that's when I saw the biggest progress. That's when I grew my social media accounts across all platforms to over 60,000 followers. That's when I still got good grades in law. That's when I got my scholarships. That's when I traveled to over 20 countries. That's when I made my first $10,000 online, right? Yeah. So enough of my yapping. Now it's the time to actually going to sleep, probably. And I wish you a happy new year. I wish that you accomplish all the things that you wanted to set for yourself, and that you have enough self-respect that you actually do the hard things you know deep down you need to be doing. And yeah, I see you in the next video.